Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about where to begin with a family tree. This video is mainly aimed at people who haven't begun yet and aren't sure where to start, or perhaps you've given it a go and found it difficult and given up. So I've put together a few steps that should help you getting on your way to building a solid family tree. Firstly, start by filling in a blank ancestral chart. You can easily find these online if you just Google blank ancestral chart. Ancestry.com has free templates that you can print off. Otherwise you can draw it by hand if you prefer. So with this chart, you just want to fill in everything that you know about yourself and your family. So that includes things like surname and first name, birth date, birthplace, your parents' full names, including your mother's maiden name, their birthplaces, dates of marriage. Just keep working backward and filling in what you know as far as you know. Include death dates too, and it can also be a good idea to add in occupations if you can fit them. So now flip the sheet over and on the back write down any family stories that you know, such as where your ancestors lived and when, maybe any connections to any famous ancestors, if they've changed their surname and why, things like that. These family legends can be really important clues later on down the track. Okay, the next step is to contact or visit relatives and continue filling out details. So particularly older relatives like grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, anyone who might have some more information that you can add to the tree. Make sure you also make note of who tells you what pieces of information, just in case you need to check back with them later on. While you're speaking with your relatives, also make sure that you ask them for any items which may be helpful in your research. Things like family Bibles, family papers, personal letters, photographs, portraits, genealogical charts, or other heirlooms that you could make copies of and add to your research. Just make sure you're careful with any old records, be careful handling them, and with photographs, make sure that you label who they are while you've got the person sitting there with you. Obviously don't write on originals, but it can be easy to forget who people are if you're not familiar with them. Okay, now it's time to extend our investigation a little further by contacting more distant relatives. Maybe you've heard of a distant aunt or cousin or someone who's already done some research or who knows a lot of family stories. Remember to be tactful when you're approaching people like this, because they don't know you and they might feel a bit strange sharing their personal stories with you. Depending on the circumstances, you might want to email or send a handwritten letter. You should probably also offer to reimburse them for any photocopying costs or printing costs or postage costs. Another possibility is to organize a family reunion. You could ask people to bring along photos and papers and mementos that would be important to the family. Just make sure you have a camera or a scanner so that you can make copies for your research. A good idea for a family reunion is to choose a meaningful date, such as the anniversary of your ancestors' arrival in Australia or something like that. Alright, so now you have a solid basis for starting your research. So the next step is to get birth, death and marriage certificates for everyone on your chart. You can get these at your state birth, death and marriage offices. Some states also have professional transcribers who can give you a transcription of the certificate for a fraction of the cost. You can find a transcriber through births, deaths and marriages office in your state. Australian certificates are generally pretty good back until the 1850s. Okay, that's about all for this video. I know we haven't done anything exciting like using websites yet, but these basic steps are so important if you're going to build a solid foundation for your research. I suggest that you follow this advice before signing up to subscriptions like Ancestry.com, because if you're inexperienced, there's a lot online that can easily lead you astray. The solid foundation that you've built now will help you down the track in being able to judge which hints are useful. I'll be doing follow-up videos using all the genealogy related websites, so make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and stay tuned for future videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!